Okay. Thank you. Bye. So let's talk about it. Desk job relief. Desk job relief for joint pain with sitting, with prolonged sitting. And so, for those of you who follow me, those of you who've gotten the emails, or who just checked this out and saw the title, it says desk job relief for pain and like stretches and for desk job relief. What does that mean? I don't know if you've heard the phrase, but sitting is the new smoking. What does that even mean? Like, how is sitting the same as smoking? Well, it's not the same. But the implication is that the sedentary lifestyle that we have as in today, especially in today's society where we sit a lot, we sit at a desk to do work. We sit on our phones to upload content. And I'm not shy to that either, because as I put out this content, as I put out these videos, I'm on my phone, I'm on the laptop. In clinic, when I need to update patient documentation, I'm on a laptop. But the difference is I know when I need to move, I know when I need to get up. So today I want to talk about why the health implications of prolonged sitting. I want to help you and empower you of what you can do for yourself, because I feel like if you know why you should be doing something, it better inclines you to kind of find that within to make yourself moving. All right, so real quick, my name is Natasha Taylor. I am a physical therapist. I am a fitness trainer certified. I'm a licensed physical therapist. Right now, I'm in my Southfield space where I do physical therapy and assisted stretching. So I offer programs both online with online fitness coaching. I have programs that could be set up depending on what is going on with you. Are you dealing with pain? Are you dealing with weakness? Are you want to get stronger, you just don't know how to do that safely? Those are my online programs. But then in this space, obviously I can offer some physical therapy, some hands-on stretching. We can do some exercises. It's a whole program altogether. So if you ever have any questions, reach out to me afterwards. There's going to be information in the show notes. We can set up a virtual consult and we can get started. So my goal today is to help empower you busy professionals, empower you with the tools of how to take care of your body during these busy work days, during this busy time. Maybe you sit and you feel pain. Maybe you have difficulty with joint pain, neck stiffness, back pain. Maybe when you go to get up from the chair, your knees are hurting, your ankles are hurting, your feet are swelling. What is going on? So today we're going to discuss the health risks of prolonged sitting. I'm going to share some simple stretches and steps, and we're going to highlight some lifestyle tips, some healthy habits you can implement today as soon as possible to make sure you can stay on this journey and you can keep going. So I want to thank you again for coming back. I want to thank you again for joining and for participating. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat as I'm talking, and I'll either answer them as I see them, or definitely there'll be time at the end for question and answer. So what is the problem? The problem is this prolonged sitting. As a physical therapist, when I ask clients or patients, how long do you sit? Do you sit a lot? They're like, no, not really. Well, what does that mean? I'll sit there for about 2-3 hours and then I get up. To me, that's a long time for just sitting in one spot, 2 to 3 hours. Are you waking up? You have a morning meeting, you hop online, you do your morning meeting. Either you have back-to-back meetings or you have back-to-back calls. And before you know it, it's been 4 hours since you've moved your body. You haven't gone to the bathroom, you haven't had any water to drink, you haven't moved, you've just been sitting there answering emails, doing work, being productive, which of course I understand that we have to do, right? But that's prolonged sitting for more than like 2 hours at a time, not moving, not taking a break. So what does that do to our body? So the health implications can be staggering, and sometimes a few months ago I was in this course, and it was like, ask 5 people 5 things about you. Ask 3 people 5 things about you, like just your character traits. And one of them said, you're kind of honest. You give it to us the way it is. So these stats I'm about to give you, number one, it's research. It's not me making it up. It's what the literature says. I don't give health advice or health education without actually understanding what's going on or doing my own research. So unfortunately, it's if you sit more than 6 hours a day, prolonged sitting 6 hours a day, it increases our risk of mortality by 40%. I thought that number was high, and it is pretty high. So 40% if you sit too long, sitting more than 6 hours a day. definitely a reason why we need to get up every 30 to 60 minutes. We just got to move our body. It's a simple fix, right? It also can affect and put us at a higher risk of cardiovascular issues. So our heart, right? If we're not moving, we're not getting that blood flow through our body. Our heart is not doing its job, right? It's doing its job, but we're putting ourselves at risk of having some kind of cardiovascular disease. For those of you who are women on here watching, we're already at a higher risk of heart disease just for being female, right? Think about the stresses, the extra work we do, adding on top of that how productive we are at work. It also puts us at risk for diabetes and obesity. All of those factors play together with that sedentary lifestyle. So it's not that me physically sitting in a chair is then putting me at these higher risks. It's that with me sitting in a chair for such a long time means my life might be a little bit more sedentary than others. So it puts us at those risks of sedentary lifestyle, which is obesity, diabetes, insulin resistance, and then the heart. Next is musculoskeletal disorders and issues. So that's where I come in as a physical therapist. I'm board certified in orthopedic physical therapy. I've been doing that for 20 years. And then I added the fitness aspect to it because I was seeing people coming in with all this array of different things that are happening to our bodies just from everyday life. I'm not talking about the all-star athlete that twists his knee or the young girl who walks and like sprains her ankle playing basketball. I'm not talking about the older woman who's falling and breaking her hip. I'm talking about everyday people we're sitting at a desk. We commute in a car. We're on our phones doing whatever we're doing. I was seeing more headaches, neck pain, back pain, right? Especially during the pandemic. I was doing virtual physical therapy, and the main thing I saw was people like, oh, my neck hurts so bad ever since I had to come home. My neck hurts bad. Why? Because they had to sit. Now all of a sudden we're doing all this work sitting at your kitchen table, at a regular desk, whatever you had, you were trying to get your work done. So that's where I come in. The other two are not saying it's a direct correlation. It's not this or that, but it can, because of the sedentary lifestyle, increase our cancer risk. So we know cancer is a big one, and I'm not getting into cancer right now. It's just one of the factors that came up. But we know just living a healthier life, some of the choices we make, some of the things we do can help lower that risk as well. And lastly, our mental health. So again, if we're sitting for a prolonged period of time, focused on work, we don't know. We could lead to burnout. It can lead to maybe periods of depression if you're not really able to talk to anybody. You're just getting work done and then potentially job dissatisfaction. That last one I can't help you with. If you don't like your job, I don't know what to tell you, but I can give you some stretches to do in the interim. All right. So as I was saying, sitting is not as dangerous as smoking. During the first round of this, I was on this tangent about when I was younger, I would see these commercials about smoking, and it was so strong. I knew as a young child that I probably shouldn't be smoking because I don't know exactly what it's doing, but I could tell by the way they were really strong on don't smoke. And now we see that warning label, right? We see that warning label on the boxes. So it's not saying it's your choice if that's what you want to do, but at least the FDA has said, well, this is what happens to your body when you smoke. So with sedentary lifestyle, we need to talk more about this is what happens to your body when we don't use it, when we don't move. We were literally made and designed to move. Okay, so some of these warning signs, we don't want to ignore these signs. We really don't want to ignore these signs. Lately, I've had a few clients coming in with headaches. They have headaches that they've had for years. They never really thought too much about it, and it's just what it is. Jaw pain. Maybe your fingertips are feeling kind of funny. You're getting numbness and tingling when you didn't before. Maybe you're feeling some kind of arm pain that's going. Your neck is stiff. Maybe it's not pain like ouch, but you're starting to feel just stiff and tight, right? Headaches, difficulty sleeping, right? Gut issues. There's so many other reasons why, and our body signals us to when like something's just not right. So we don't want to ignore those signals. So what do we do about it? So as a physical therapist, as a fitness trainer, my whole Life has been dedicated to teaching people how to move safely, how to move strongly, how to get strong, but how to move safe. So we talk about stretching tight and strengthening weak, right? It's a combination of things. I can't only stretch something that's tight. I can't only strengthen something that's weak. It's a combination of the both. Sometimes when we feel tight, we're actually, it's more of a aspect of weakness that it is, oh, I just need you to like rub it out, or I need you to stretch this out. But if it is tight, if it is contracted, imagine just sitting there and having your elbow bent and just holding it like this. How long would it take before that muscle got so fatigued that would turn into pain or turn into tightness, right? Now I'm stuck here. And then this process is going to be a painful process trying to straighten back out that elbow. So you want to think about those things. How many of us are here sitting like this? I'm exaggerating, but I've seen a lot of things. So we're sitting like this most of the time and wonder why our neck and our back and our shoulders hurt, but this is what we do. And I know you've seen people who walk around like this. Imagine the amount of work and effort my muscles are doing right now just to hold me in this posture. It would lead to stretch. It would lead to some tension and some pain. All right. So a few things you can do today, right now, anytime. I want you to think about every 30 to 60 minutes you're taking a break. Your break could just be as simple as standing up. Maybe this is your break, shaking it up, right? Your break could be, this is on a standing table, a standing desk, getting yourself a standing desk, something that goes up and down. So every now and then you work in standing for 30 to 60 minutes, then you go back to your seat. You put your stuff on something taller so that you have to stand up tall, right? You take your meetings walking. If you're connected to something and maybe you don't have to be on video and you just need to listen to the meeting, put your earphones on and move, walk. Again, maybe if you're in an office, it is freezing cold in Michigan right now, but if you're in a space where you can walk, go ahead and walk the hallways or something while you're listening to your meeting or while you're participating in your meeting. Might encourage somebody else to actually get up and move. Set yourself fitness reminders, okay? You can do small things throughout the day. I was doing a consultation with someone and she was even saying, she's like, yeah, I noticed now that I do all this stuff at the desk, I don't move as much. Just when I go to get up, I just feel stiff. I feel sore. But I have dumbbells sitting at the base of my seat. And I was like, well, why don't you pick up the dumbbells? It's her own reason why she's not picking them up, but she recognizes enough. Maybe I should do something with them. So my quick tip with her was like, well, you know what if you set yourself an alarm and a reminder so when you get up every 30 to 60 minutes, not that you have to do dumbbells every single time, but what if after those, that 10 minute, you just did 5 or 10 minutes of something, right? You stood up, held your dumbbells and did 10 squats. Even if you don't have dumbbells, you just decided to sit down out of your chair 10 times. What if, and I'm going to go through a few stretches with you in a little bit, but that could be something to do. What if you took the dumbbells and pushed it overhead? So think about it. You're here all the time. Let's do the opposite. What if we pushed it overhead, right? You did 1, 2, 3 sets of those and then put the dumbbells back down and go back to work. You did something. You moved your body. So she knew enough, I need the dumbbells near me, but she didn't have that, what do I do next? But she recognized, I noticed the more I do this, the harder it was to get out of my seat. We have to do something about that. All right, so as I said, let's move. This is where I fit in. So we talked about those different health implications, your risk of mortality, your cardiovascular risk. I'm not a cardiologist, so I can't help you there. Diabetes and insulin resistance, that's something else where definitely exercise can help in that range. But I am in the area of that musculoskeletal disorders. That's where I fit in. So again, like I said, I'm an orthopedic physical therapist. This is what I've been doing. And in this space, I help people manage their symptoms through hands-on physical therapy, assisted stretching. So maybe you don't need physical therapy, but you just need somebody who knows what they're doing to stretch your body to help you with these headaches and neck stiffness. That's what I do here. These are like my go-tos. So if you have 5 seconds, not even, well, it's going to take you more than 5 seconds. You have a few minutes, you're watching me. So I want you to back up a bit. Please join me. I want you to take a mental note of how this is making you feel, and you can put it in the chat. Or at the end of the video, I would love it if you went and put it in the comments how these stretches made you feel. The first one is an upper trap stretch. Our trapezius is that large muscle like these shoulders right here. okay? They're big muscles. They go this way and then they cross into your back. They definitely get tight. How many of you feel like, oh, I just need somebody to rub my shoulders. I just feel tight right here. So as you're sitting, you're gonna keep one hand down to my left side. I'm gonna tilt my head to the right. Take that right hand, gently pull it over to the right. Okay, I'm gonna get a nice stretch from my ear to the top of my shoulder. And in this position, I would hold this about 15 to 20 seconds. Up to 30 seconds would be fine. This should feel like a good stretch. You shouldn't be getting anything kind of zinging down your arm, no numbness, no tingling, no zinging pains. So that would be one side. Nice and easy. Make sure you're breathing. Then come back up. Arm down on the side. You're here. Gently tilt over to the other side. So now you're getting a stretch, like I said, from the base of your head, neck, ear to the top of the shoulder. Keep your arm down. I want you to gently stretch and hold open. Again, you can hold that about 15. I definitely no less than 15 seconds, but up to 30 seconds is a good amount. If you notice, I'm holding underneath this chair. So if you're sitting in a chair, you just hold the chair. That's going to help keep that shoulder down as you gently pull over. The next one I want you to do, you're going to clasp these hands. I'm going to tilt to your side so you can see me. So I'm going to reach forward, look down. I'm going to just a little bit round my back. So I'm getting a nice stretch in the back of my neck, top of the shoulders, top of the back, and look down. So that should be a good, nice stretch from here going into the top of the back. Same thing. So if you don't remember anything, remember 15 to 30 seconds. That's going to be pretty much any stretch you ever do. And then come back up. Now we're going to do a seated twist. So feet are together. I want you to just gently bring one arm to the opposite side of your body. Gently twist. If you want, you can take that other hand and reach to the back of that chair and hold. What was that time frame? 15 to 30 seconds. Let's hold and just breathe. Now, if you notice I'm sitting nice and tall, I'm not going to be down here doing this. And if that is hard for you to sit up tall, we're going to start from the pelvis. So if you're down here, it's very difficult to do things. Sit up, bring your pelvis up, tilt that booty, okay? So you're up here on your sits bone as we gently twist. Let me go to the other side. So if you notice that you kind of get stuck in that slouch position, sometimes it's not always the chest. So I'm going to review that when I face forward again. So gentle stretch here. Good. So posture-wise, if you notice you're here a lot and it's hard for you to sit up, like this is difficult, here. From your pelvis, I want you to tilt your pelvis forward. So I'm sitting on my tailbone. Get off your tailbone and sit on there's some bones in the butt there. Let me check the chat real quick. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Maria. I appreciate you joining. Okay. What's next? So we did our back. I want to do the wrist and hand. So we're going to open up the hand just like this. Just open up, extend. I just want to make sure you see me okay. So we're extending the wrist. I don't want you to hyperextend the elbow. So if you notice like your elbow's doing this funky position, don't just have a slight bend in your elbow. So this is what it looks like. I'm just opening up my palm. If you need more, you can take that thumb back. Take that thumb back and open up. And you should get a nice stretch through the wrist and hand. This can be a lot if you type a lot. If you type a lot or you're on the phone a lot, this can be a lot. Okay, I took a test. I mean, it's been a while since I take this test, but one of the conditions which is called gamer's thumb. So it's when you get tenderness and pain in the thumb. You can have, depending on how old you are, you can have osteoarthritis in the joint right here. But some of it was even in younger people having pain in this meaty part of our hand, our thumb. Why? Because of this, right? So think about if you ever seen a gamer, this is what they do. But what do we do? What do? We do this, right? Same thing. So you want to open up that wrist, get a stretch through here, but then if you can get that thumb into extension, that's going to help open up and get a good stretch through these muscles. But it might be a lot if you don't really do that. Just some gentle wrist. Last one is that piriformis, the hip. So you're gonna take one, if you can, take one leg, put on the opposite thigh, and sit up tall. The taller you sit, you're gonna get into that hip and get a stretch into the side of your hip. So if you notice you have back pain, lower back pain, where you're getting some symptoms into your legs and your legs just feel tight and achy, your hips, try this stretch. So like this one, I would hold 30 seconds. So these glutes and our hip muscles are a little stronger than these neck muscles. So you definitely want to be here a little longer. We do a lot in sittings. We want to open up these hips. So this is the piriformis, which is a small muscle in the hip, in the booty bit, pretty much deep, and it helps us rotate out. So you want to sit nice and tall. Try the other leg. So again, with the legs, I'm not going to go into legs too much today. That might be another workshop. But you definitely want to hold these a little longer because of the density of the muscle and how much work we make it do on an everyday, regular basis. It should not cause you pain. If you're having pain, it might be too deep of a stretch. You want to back off. You want to check your posture. So again, you shouldn't be doing the stretch down here. I need you sitting up tall. Sit at the edge of your chair and sit up tall and do that. Okay, those are your 5 stretches. You can do them anytime. Come back and watch this replay and do it again. And if you think you need more than just 5 stretches, if you're on my page, I hope you subscribe afterwards. You're going to see a playlist of different body parts and different stretches you can do. I have workouts, actual like 30-minute workouts. Then I have these 15, 20-minute stretching sessions where you can really just take time and stretch it out. That could be one of your posture breaks. You stop yourself for 10, 15 minutes, do a video, get back to work. So how did this stuff make you feel? So I see feels good. I'm glad it feels good. And look how quickly that took. Didn't take much at all. Big red flags, I kind of spoke on them as I was doing this stretch, but I want you to really hear yourself. When I talked earlier about not ignoring any signs and symptoms, it's really important that we pay attention to our bodies, even when we're exercising. Even when we're doing good things, right? I was actually listening to, I think it was Sarah Jakes Roberts yesterday, and she's like, sometimes we're doing the right thing, but we're doing the wrong right thing, right? So we're doing right. I'm stretching. She told me to stretch, so I'm stretching, but I'm pulling so hard that it actually hurts. But she told me to stretch, right? So we want to be mindful. So if I'm asking you to do this, or anybody's asking you to do whatever that movement is, we have a dance fitness instructor in the chat. If she's asking you to do some movements, do some exercises, she teaches African dance, which I think is amazing. I need to join her class one day. But I know from my background, we do a lot of stuff in this position, right? So if I'm strong and I can do this movement and it doesn't hurt me, fine. But if I'm doing this movement and it's hurting, do I keep doing the movement? I got to find a different way. So it's the same thing. So with stretching or with any exercise, really, here are a few red flags. We've got radiating symptoms. Pain should not travel down your arm. You should not be getting numbness and tingling down your arm or in your fingers, okay? If you are having that and you've never been diagnosed with anything, it's really important you go get somebody to check that out for you, because stretching is a pull. It should just feel like a pull. When you're done, you should feel good. If you do it and you feel worse, then that's not a good thing. Then something's not right. That's when we need to reach out to somebody who knows what they're doing or why that's the case. So that's where a virtual consult works well, because I can actually see what you're doing and be like, yeah, that's why it hurts. Let's back it up. The numbness, tingling is a big deal. Headaches, right? So we need to pay attention to headaches. Headaches are not normal. I don't know why we made them normal. Headaches are not normal. We shouldn't be just taking a pill and, okay, what's going on? Are we drinking water? Have we eaten? Is there something going on in the neck, right? Is there something going on as to why you're not getting blood flow to your head and brain, as to why you have a headache? So headaches are not normal. So you want to pay attention to those. And then this is just a general red flag, fainting, right? Hopefully I don't have to say that, but if you're feeling dizzy and faint while you're exercising or doing a stretch, yeah, let's stop. Let's just not do that. Let's just back off. So what can we do for ourselves? We just did these stretches. I believe that you deserve to live pain-free. I believe that everybody deserves to live pain-free. I definitely recognize, I didn't tell you, my disclaimer was I had notes. So if I keep looking down or looking over here, it's because I'm checking the chat and I want to make sure I give you the information that we prepared today. But there's obviously medical conditions and other situations in life where pain is part of the process. But if that's not the case and you're just an everyday person and you're just trying to do your job, you're just trying to take care of your family, you're just trying to get through, you're trying to stay healthy, right? Because everybody's telling you got to stay healthy. You got to eat this food. You got to move your body. You got to do your exercises. Your doctor's telling you to lose weight. You're trying. You're doing all the things. You still deserve to live pain-free, okay? But the one thing that it has to come from inside. It has to come from you. There's no doctor, there's no physical therapist, no mental therapist, no occupational therapist, no massage therapist that can get it out of you. There's no trainer that can physically make you stronger. It has to come with you. What we do is we provide all the tools. I can tell you how to exercise. I can tell you how to stretch. I can tell you what foods to eat. I can't make you eat it. I can't make you get up. Okay, so I hope that this just speaks as a reminder of, at the end of the day, we need to be the ones to set the reminders and do the work. We need the ones to pick up the dumbbells that are sitting right there at our feet. We got to pick it up. I can't come over and put them in your hands. And in fact, if I had to do that, more than likely you wouldn't stick to your habit because you're relying on something else. That something has to come from within. So whatever that is. So I really do feel like, and I want you to live pain-free. So I want to share a couple client stories. So as I was saying, I do have this online fitness program for those who are not in the Metro Detroit area. If you're in the Metro Detroit area and you're interested in getting started with physical therapy or stretching, it doesn't have to be formal physical therapy. It can be hands-on stretching. I do cupping. I do some other body work techniques for recovery, muscle recovery. And like I said, we can get into some exercise tips if need be. But at the online program, I have a program right now where I had a young lady who, when I spoke with her during her virtual consult, she reached out because she was recently diagnosed with insulin resistance. She's young, she's younger than me, and she's like, I know I have to do something. She goes, I sit a lot. This is my job. I've been sitting in my home at this computer since 2020. Even before that, she was sitting, but she was in an office space, so at least she had to physically get up, get into a car, walk somewhere, and then come back, right? But when we took that out, and then the commuting isn't easy either if you're sitting in a car long periods of time. But she said she was diagnosed with insulin resistance, and she knows that if she does something, it can change, it can reverse. Diabetes, insulin resistance, all in the same category, so sugar levels. But then as we were talking, she was mentioning her neck. She goes, yeah, well, I don't know, because you're a physical therapist, do you think you can help me here? Because I've been having this issue with my neck and I went to therapy and it was okay, but I'm still having the same issue. So within the body of her fitness program, I have these same alerts, take a posture break, but then I also have special exercises for her. I call them corrective exercises. So every so many times a week, she gets an exercise that's corrective and is specifically for neck, upper back, so that she can get better. And so I sent it to her. She did it for a few weeks, and then she wrote back. She's like, the neck exercises felt like such a relief from all the tension I didn't even know I was carrying. So she knew she didn't feel great. She knew she was tight, but when she did those stretches and exercises, she's like, oh, this weight fell off. Like, okay, so that only encouraged her, okay, every time I get this alert to do it, do it. And then I told her, I go, if there's any of those stretches that feel good, do them when you feel like you need to do them. Lately, I talked about headaches. I've been having quite a few women reaching out who have headaches. They've been having headaches for years, and they never had treatment for it. And when I say treatment, I mean any type of hands-on physical therapy, massage, nothing. They just felt like, well, I have headaches now. That's my life. I go to a doctor. I go to a neurologist. They tell me to take medicine, so I take the medicine, but I still have headaches. And one recently was like, this is the first time I've ever been treated for headaches, as from the physical therapy side. And I'm like, really? I go, no one's ever offered it? She's like, I've been going to the doctors for years, and no one ever said, other than medicine, that there's something else that can be done for headaches. So she started getting hands, like I do, manual therapy, some stretching specific to that region. And we're getting now headache relief. We're sleeping, which sleep deprivation is huge, right? So Those are just a few examples of how just doing simple exercises, simple stretches, like 10 minutes of something that addresses a specific area. So right now I'm talking a lot about the neck, shoulder, upper back, because with the desk specifically, that's what I encounter. That's the clients that come to see me for help. So a few more practical tips. I'm going to wrap this up because I did say 30 minutes. We're already there, and I appreciate all of you who came back on. This is going to be recorded. I'm going to send it back out, so hopefully you can check that out anytime you need it. But go ahead and grab your pens if you need be. Number one would be hydration. I talked earlier about drinking water and feeling dehydrated. So we need our water. So have a water bottle at your desk. Have it somewhere. Take sips of water throughout the day. The recommended amount, which is a lot, is 90 ounces for an adult female, which is a lot. So for now, just try to get, 60 to 70 if you can. It's a lot of water, but our body's 80% water. So we need to replenish what we're losing. All right. So it helps with our joint stiffness. So it helps lubricate the joints, gives us energy. It helps regulate circulation. So that's going to help with that blood pressure. So we definitely need water. So try to hydrate. Sleep, adequate sleep. Again, it's recommended we get above at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and that gives us restorative sleep. There's one thing to take a nap here and there and to sleep for 4 or 5 hours, but we need restorative sleep, because what happens when we get into that REM sleep, that deep sleep, that's when our body actually heals. So if you notice, you're kind of always carrying tension. You're kind of always in this low-grade pain, right? And you also don't sleep well. I don't need a lot of sleep. I do fine off of 4 or 5 hours. Do you, though? Are you really doing it? I'm not saying you can't bang out all your work, but are you really sleeping? So we need to get in that REM sleep, that deep sleep. This is why. That's when our body literally shuts down. It's the only time. Otherwise, we're wrestling, we're moving around. But we're in that deep sleep. Think about when your kid falls asleep on the couch and they're dead. They don't move, and you have to try to lug this child off of you or off the couch to get them back, or you're somebody else, an adult who passes out on, like I'm talking about, sleeping, and they're just done. You go to pick them up and the arm falls. They're in some deep sleep. That's REM sleep. Our body shuts down. Why? Because it needs to restore. It needs to rejuvenate. The same thing with our brain. Sleeping is the only time our brain gets a chance to rest. It's the only time it actually shuts off. Think about it for a second. If we're awake, what are we doing? We're working, we're thinking, we're watching TV, we're doing something to stimulate our brain. So when we're sleeping, it finally gets to stop. It finally gets to rest, rejuvenate. That's when it gets refueled. Our gut, that's when our immune system also gets to rejuvenate, rest, and digest. Remember that. Take a digital detox. I have to remind myself to do the same. I need to put the phone down. I need to get off social media. I need to turn the TV off. I need to let my body sink in so that I can, go to sleep. But also, if I'm on a digital detox and I'm not here, I'm getting my head and my neck out of that forward crunch posture, right? So we want to think about that. Let's try to reduce our caffeine. So caffeine is a diuretic, so we're going to lose fluid, and then we need to hydrate with our water. Daily movement. We talked about that, how to get daily movement in. And once again, I hope you've subscribed to my channel, because you can go in anytime and go through the playlist and find something to do. And I have them in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, nothing too long, right? And then lastly, professional guidance. If you are in the Metro Detroit area, I'm based out of Southfield, Michigan. You can come in and get a not a virtual consult. You can come in and make yourself an appointment for a physical therapy evaluation, or if stretching is more appropriate, you can come in for that. If you're anywhere and you have access to the internet, you can do a virtual consultation. For 15-minute free virtual consultation, we can go through your goals. You can ask questions. I can kind of give you some guidance and some ideas of what could be going on and how I can help you. And then we can go from there. So there's ways, or regardless of where you're at, talk to your doctor, right? If you're in pain, honestly, if you're in pain, you're having some of those symptoms I talked about, those headaches, those radiating symptoms, numbness, tingling, those are red flags. I can't help you online. So you want to talk to somebody and make sure you get help. And maybe you do need hands-on physical therapy. So maybe you want to request, okay, maybe I need to go talk to or see a physical therapist that knows the both. It's not just about hands-on stretching. It's also about strengthening and understanding body postures and weakness. So think about that. So what are we going to do next? So I've asked you multiple times. We're going to stay connected. So you're going to subscribe to my channel. If you go to the show notes, you're going to see my website. You're going to see how to book your consultation. You can join my newsletter. You can just comment on this video. I'd appreciate it. And let me know what you think. If you liked this setup, and I promise you next time the mic will work, because I'm going to play around with this thing and make sure the mic is working. If you saw how many mics I have, for it not to work, I'm actually a little upset. The amount of mics I have. But anyways, that's a different story. It's a Monday. So I'm going to attribute it to that. But you can always connect with me on any of the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I put my email in the show notes. You're going to see all that stuff in the show notes. So you can go ahead and check that out. And if you're local, reach out. So right now, I'm going to open it up to any questions. If you have any questions, if you'd like, go ahead and put them in the chat and I'll answer them. I'll wait for a few minutes. And then if there's no questions, I will be wrapping up today. But I would also love feedback. So please go ahead and whether it's in the chat or actually in the comments after this video uploads, if you want to in the comments, let me know what you thought about this workshop, what you would want to see next. If you'd like to see this on a monthly basis, I might be able to do that. It would be on YouTube Live because I'm building up this channel as well. So if that's the case, go ahead and give me some ideas. This particular topic came because I put it in Instagram. I put up an Instagram poll and I had a few different topics and people chose desk job relief. So I'm definitely open to helping you in the area that I know, which is movement, pain relief, pain management, strengthening. That's my area. So if it's about something else, I might not be able to help you. But I usually go ahead and put a few different ideas and you let me know which one resonates with you. All right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you so much I'm in the chat. I appreciate your comments and for what you said for the reminders.